Hi everyone, it's Wayne here, also known as the Plantaholic, and this week I'll be talking about potting on your houseplants and other exotic plants. Well, today it's the spring equinox, so equal day, equal night, and plants are going to grow really quickly now, so now's the perfect time to pot on all your plants. Okay, so as you can see I've got quite a range of plants here to pot on. Mixture of house plants and plants that I do put outside in the summer. So I've got Tropicalesque zebrina, a nice anthurium here in a tiny pot, a vresia, bromeliad, another vresia over here, vresia era, a variegated pineapple, Ananas variegatus. Also got a lovely begonia rex cultivar, begonia masoniorum, the iron cross begonia, marmalade plant, Streptosolon jamesonii, a climbing fern, Lygodium japonicum, and then finally some bananas which I grew from seed last May. So I've got Musa Helen's hybrid, which supposedly can produce edible fruits. And then I've got a fairly new species of banana which I grew from seed last May, Musa Arun achanensis, and that was first described in 2014. It has reddish orange flowers, or inflorescence I should say, and as you can see they're a good sized plant, and I've got 3 of these to pot on. Right, so first of all I'm going to start selecting which pots I need for the different plants. So this small anthurium here is in a tiny little pot, probably 2 inches across in old money. So I'm going to put them in this 4 inch pot here, so 2 sizes bigger. And really whatever pot you use, really you need to be able to put your fingers in around the edges to be able to firm the compost around. Any smaller it's not worth potting on because, well, it's going to be difficult to do so, and also, you know, it's not really worth potting it on into a tiny little pot, so you need to you know, just choose a pot that you can get your fingers around. This one here, this banana, this is in a 5 inch pot, 13 centimetres. I'm going to put it into this 6 inch pot, 15 centimetres. Again, it should fit nicely so I can get my fingers around the root balls to actually firm the compost down. Similar things with this begonia rex here. If I just lift it out, you'll see the size difference, like so. And then this bigger banana here, this is in a 5 inch pot, I think, yeah, 13 centimetre. So I'm going to put it in this sort of 7 inch pot here, 19 centimetre, or a 3 litre pot. So yeah, so basically you don't want to pot on too quickly. You want to be able to pot on so that you can, the plant can grow, but you don't want to over pot, because if you do over pot it will hold too much water and it could cause rotting. Okay, so the compost I'm going to be using is reduced peat compost. Obviously you can use peat free compost as well. Now you can add so many different additives to compost depending on what type of plant you're growing and the conditions it likes. So of course you could add grit and sand for free draining properties for more drought tolerant plants, or you could have perlite as well to do the same thing, or you could add fertiliser to the compost as well. What I find personally from my point of view is that I just use just a straight multi-purpose compost. And then I'm just very careful with my watering, so I make sure that the compost dries out in between waterings to prevent rotting. and that means then I don't have to keep incorporating relatively expensive additives such as grit or sand, and also all plants are happy in it as well, so it keeps the cost down, keeps it easy, and yeah, most plants love growing in it, so that's what I just use really. So whatever, when I'm potting on, I always put obviously a little bit in the bottom, just firm that in, and then when you are placing your plant in there, you want it so that it's just below the rim of the top of the pot really, so that you can add water in there. So if I just take this out, you can see it's a fantastic good root system there. So obviously this was pot bound, so it's a sign that it needs to go in a bigger pot. I'm just going to tease the roots just to stop the roots from spiralling round on themselves, just to encourage it to root into the new compost in the new pot. So fantastic root system. This has been in my bathroom, by the way, nice and warm. Tropical plant, of course. And then I'm just going to place it in like so. So you can see that the top of this compost here is going to be below the top of the pot to allow for water. I'm just going to fill it up to the top. Loose, I'm not firming it in at this point. Just spread it round level and then firm it down. I find if you use that technique, it works every time, and you get the level just right, just so that it allows water. You can see there's about 1 centimetre or so on the top to allow for water, but at the same time I've got a decent amount of compost in there to make a good sized root system. So just going to put that stake down just to give it a bit of extra support. Obviously it's important now to water that in, so I use my small Hall's watering can. Give it a good drink, and then I won't water that again now until the compost dries out again. So I'm going to carry on now, potting on some of the others, such as the begonia and the musa. So I'll just use musa. So I'm going to take that out of the pot. Again, good size, lots of roots there, nice and healthy. And there was actually roots coming out the bottom of the pot, so if we look at this one here, a good sign that you can see the roots starting to appear through the bottom of the pot. That's always a good sign that it needs potting on. So again, I'm going to put some compost in the bottom of this pot here, firm it down. Just going to check the compost level. It's a little bit low, so I'm going to put some more in. Obviously bananas are quite greedy plants, they love food and water, warmth and light, so obviously by potting this on now, it's going to make it grow really quick. Make sure the pseudo stem's in the centre, of course, and then I'm going to chuck this compost in, loose right up to the top. Just so it's level to the top, like so. Level it off. Straighten that up a little bit, firm that down. So you need to be able to get your fingers in, get rid of all those air pockets. Good contact with the roots and the new compost. Just give it that fibrous bit there and just give it a little bit of a tidy. There we go, it's absolutely perfect. Obviously put the label back in before moving on to the next plant. And again, water that really well. So what a fantastic job this is at this time of the year, full of hope. We've got 6 months now of growing at least, fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to seeing my garden coming on this year. Got some fantastic new plants along the way, got some new seeds to sow shortly too. So it's a really busy time of the year. So when potting on, it's really important not to bury the plant too deeply. So really you're only just covering or to the same depth of what it was before. So here you can see the old compost level. So it's only going to be very slightly higher than that. And this mark here is called the nursery mark. So if you bury it too deeply, you can actually rot the stem. Okay, so I've finished potting this group of plants here that I showed you earlier on. I'm sure you'll agree they look great. look a lot bigger than they were before, and they're going to be so much happier now that they've got extra food. They're going to have extra water in that pot, and they're all going to grow really well, really fast before I plant them outside in 7 weeks time. So any comments, guys, as usual, please put on the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And see you next week. Cheers, guys. Bye.